in the book Headway Plus Intermediate. So in this unit, I just like talk about indirect question. And indirect question is really important, especially when you speak or even especially in writing a formal language. So in writing, we cannot use all the time just in like directly speech like a quotation, and also in spoken language it is it's just like maybe it is rude to use indirect to use direct question to speak to people who you are just get like okay involved in a conversation in formal setting. Okay, so that is why this chapter just talk about indirect question يعني الأسئلة بشكل غير مباشر, because it's really rude that when you use it to speak with people for the first time and you use like direct question. يعني عادة هو غير لائق بأن when you speak English, okay, بأن أنت تستخدم direct question أسئلة مباشرة من تتكلم ويا شخص قد يكون بشكل رسمي. So that is why this chapter just focus on indirect question and then a question tags اللي هي الأسئلة الذيلية. So let's just focus now on how to use indirect question. And this focus just like focus on simple basic things that to talk about indirect question. So now I'm trying to explain how to use indirect question, okay, in the PowerPoint. اوكي, يعني عادة الشابتر هذا اللي هو محدد لنا اشياء بسيطة خاصة خاصة بالindirect question, لكن indirect question, since it's really important that we have to focus mainly on how to use it properly in spoken and also in written form. So here, as I said, that asking a question, okay, directly is going to be rude, while when if you ask a question in direct ways, this is going to be like more appropriate and more like formal language. Okay, maybe your friends or maybe like some people you interact with them previously, you can use direct question. Or maybe if you are like, for example, you have work, usually in the work we have to use to ask direct question. But in other ways, like when you have to ask a question indirectly بشكل غير رسمي. First of all, we have to know what is like indirect question and when I have to use it, when do I use them. Okay, first of all, we have direct question are often considered rude, as I said, when speaking to stranger. So we use like indirect question when speaking with a stranger, because if you use direct question, this is like so rude. Indirect question, and of course it serves the same purpose as direct question. So if you use the direct question or indirect question, it doesn't change the meaning, يعني ما راح تغير بالمعنى, بس مجرد تضيف الفورمالity. Indirect question is more formal, direct question is just like less formal, but it doesn't change the meaning. Okay, يعني المعنى نهائيا ما بيتغير عندما نستخدم like indirect question. القاعدة الأساسية like how to use the indirect question is use introductory phrase. اللي هسه راح نعرف شنو introductory phrase, followed with the question itself, and of course it's gonna be like a positive or a negative sentence based on what like okay we need like to ask. Okay, and you can connect the two phrases, okay, by using either where, when, why, if, or whether, if we have yes or no question. Okay, فالقاعدة الأساسية is just like to use either introductory sentence, yeah, in all the cases introductory sentence اللي هسه راح نشوف شنو هي, plus WH question words اللي هي when, why, where, this is like the WH question, or use if or whether plus to the positive or negative sentence. For example, direct question, how much do you earn? How much do you earn, or how much you get for your living? Okay, and direct question, I say, could you tell me how much you earn? And of course, this is like according to some culture, you cannot ask this question directly, or even you cannot ask this question, but it's just like an example, or you can just apply this for the other question. في الانtroductory sentence اللي هي could you tell me, okay, or would you mind, okay, or can you tell me, okay, or can you, yeah, tell me, or wherever. So this is the introductory sentence اللي هي most of the time احنا نستخدمها بالformality could you tell me, or would you mind, okay. And then we have here the WH question, or if is depend. The yes or no question we use if or whether, but if we have like, okay, wanna like to get information, so of course you have to need you must basically to ask a W question and include that in the sentence of indirect question. How much? This is like the WH question. And then we have the positive. You earn, because it's already here in the question, is positive. For example, what is your worst habit? Okay, I cannot go to the person, especially to the stranger, and ask directly, what is your worst habit? No. So here, may I ask, and this is more formality, may I ask you what's your worst habit it is, okay? What's your habit is, okay? So here, may I ask you, this is the introductory sentence, and then the WH what, and then your worst habit. Okay, so yeah, basically this is what we use here. For example, does he like, okay, partying? Does he like partying? So here we have yes or no question. So how I do it, okay, basically I put the introductory sentence, may I ask you, or could you tell me, is depend on how it is so formal or it is little bit less formal, okay. May I ask you, so we put here if or whether he likes partying. So of course here assuming that the question is yes or no, okay. The same thing here, we can use like most phrases or most introductory like a phrase, like do you know, or do you mind, or I wonder, or can or could you tell me, can I ask, may I ask, do you happen to know, I wonder, or I was wondering if you could tell me, I wondering if you would mind tell me, or would you mind tell me, or I would be interested to know, or I would like to know. Okay, so this is most common phrases. In the book, they just try to give you like two phrases, which is could you or would you. But basically, this is not like only the two phrases that we use. We have all these phrases, like I wonder, or like would you mind, or for example, may I ask, or I was wondering. So yeah, this is usually that we know for the most common phrases that we use it for indirect question. So, to summarize, indirect question, it is used when we speak to stranger. We cannot ask them directly question. We use indirect question. Why? Because it's so rude when you ask direct question. So we use these phrases, and then we put, if we want to like to get information, we use WH question, and then we put the phrase or the sentence. Or what we have to do is just basically, if we have yes or no question, we put if or whether. And as you see here in the book, especially in page 87, this is like some example they use, okay, to talk about indirect question. And also on page 86 is just like give like some examples on direct question. But is the most common a rule to follow is just what's introductory, like a phrase, could you mind, or was wondering, or would you mind, wherever, or can you tell me, or may I ask, and then you put a question word if we have a question, if or whether if we have yes or no question, and then the phrase. Okay, Yeah, so this is the most important. Also, in this chapter or in this unit is talk about the tag question or question tag. So, what does mean question tag? Basically, this is we use it as so common to use it in spoken language. And also sometimes use it for intonation. What's mean intonation؟ اللي هي تغيير نغمة الصوت، اللي هي تغيير يعني how like for example if I have a question مجرد أن أغير نبرة الصوت هي تبين بين a question or it is like exclamatory تعجب or it is maybe it's just like angry or happy or wherever. For intonation is really important. Sometimes intonation is really hard like for the English language learner to do or even like the other languages because especially if your level is not like professional or not like advanced level but even though you have to know it. يعني عادة هو التغيير بنبرة الصوت قد ما ينجح بها متحدث اللغة الإنجليزية أو متحدث اللغة كلغة أجنبية يعني لأن يكون يعني تغيير نبرة الصوت is depending on how you like successful to spell or to pronounce the words. لكن you have to use it because it's more common. But if you find it's really like hard to know or how to use, you can use the question tag. And since we are talking about the question tag, so or tag a question, so what's it mean? It's basically is a special construction, okay, in English, and it is a statement. So it is not like a question basically, but it is a statement followed by a mini question. And the whole sentence is a tag question. يعني the whole sentence كل الجملة هي تكون شنو tag question. Not only about the last part that we added to the sentence. And the mini question at the end is called a question tag. Okay, let's see how to use it. And basically we use like a tag question at the end of the statement. For example, if I say sentence and say, am I right? Okay. Or am I making myself clear? Okay. Or for example, is he whatever, is he or isn't he whatever, or do you agree? So this is a very common, especially in spoken language. We use it a lot in spoken language. And tag a question based structure if we want to like to focus on. For example, if I have like the first part of the sentence positive statement يعني جملة مثبتة, so the tag question should be negative. He's a doctor or he is a biomedical engineering engineer is like, so here is a positive, isn't he? So the tag question should be what? Like a negative. If I say it is a great day, positive, so I have to put the tag question what? Isn't it? Okay. While here, negative statement, if we have a negative statement, you don't know her, do you? So here, if the first part positive should be the second part is negative and vice versa. Okay, this is the basic rule that we have. For example, beautiful, sometimes it's just like it's spoken more like beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so it's just like because this is like just like a positive. Okay, and of course here, like if we go to the examples of a positive statement, like if we have like a for example, if we have a kind of present progressive or present continuous, so basically we use only the what? Only the auxiliary verb plus the subject. So I say this is a positive, she is a cooking, isn't she? Okay, you like ice cream. This is here is like a present simple. So basically you like ice cream. Okay, so I take the auxiliary verb, you know, like for the present simple we use don't, do or does. So I say, don't you? They will stay, they will stay. This is a future, they will stay home. So of course this is a positive, should be here, will not or won't they? He can't play, so we have to put only the auxiliary verb. Can't he? We should go, should here the auxiliary verb, shouldn't we? Okay, even for was, here was busy, this is a nominal sentence, هاي جملة اسمية ما بس الauxiliary verb هو المين verb. فهنا أيضا we use wasn't she. You aren't French, you are French, aren't you? And here they have finished. They have finished. This is a present perfect. So what is the auxiliary verb? It is have. So what we say, haven't they? Okay, so yeah, this is basically what we use. We use the auxiliary verb plus if it is negative, the first part should be positive, and we put like the subject. The same here. It is not snowing. Here it is already what? It is already negative. So I put only the auxiliary verb. So I say, is it? You have never been there. Okay, the auxiliary verb words is like have, and never, this is a negative. So what I say, have you? She doesn't like pork. So what we say, does she? Okay, they didn't practice today. They didn't. Okay, so I take only did they. So he cannot come, can he? So basically with the auxiliary verb plus the subject, and this is like the most time that we use it. Sometimes like special cases that we use it in the tag question that the book it doesn't like focus on, but we have to know the main rules, not only like focus and stick on the basic. No, we have to widen our knowledge because we're gonna use it. Okay, like am I right, aren't I? Okay, usually we say I'm not. Okay, I'm not I, but this is hard to say. That is why we broke like the rules. So am I right, aren't I, and instead of say I'm not, because this is not like is not even like it's hard to pronounce. So this is special cases. You have to go, you have to go. Here we have obligation, you have to go. So what we say, instead of say have whatever, no, we say don't you. Okay, I have been answering. Okay, I have been answering. So here I don't use been, I use have, of course. Nothing came in the post, did it? Okay, nothing came. Here nothing is give me like the sense of the negative. So that means should be like the other part of a question tag should be positive. لازم يكون مثبت. Okay, فهنا nothing is give us like a negativity. So what I do, came, it is already in the past, هي بالماضي, فاستخدم did it. Okay, let's go, shall we? So let's go, let's go, let's go. This is we use offering. Let's go. Okay, guys, let's go. So when I use it with let's go, we use shall we. And shall here is a kind of requesting, not used for the future because there's no more it's used. Okay, so let's go, shall we? This is we use it with a special case. And he like had better do it. Okay, so hadn't he, because this is like had better. So of course we use it as like here is a kind of auxiliary. We use it with the tag question. So yeah, this is the most rules that we use the tag question. Tag question is really common. To be proficient in language, you need to use it in spoken. Okay, a language like a written form, usually we don't use it a lot because usually we say statements, especially when we write academic paper. But in spoken, this is most common like to use. Okay, yeah, this is the most like the unit is just talk. Okay, we use the tag question and indirect question, and this is the most common verbs that we use it, especially when we talk about like okay how to use it the language as it is really used by English native speaker. Okay, and you find here some vocabulary from the daily use. If you want like to read it here, you're gonna find it on page 96, because sometimes when you use like informal English we use idioms. Like for example, we say some examples like go bananas. Go bananas is just like getting crazy. Or for example, we do like be in my shoe. Like okay, be in my shoe is just like this is idiom يعني معناه خلي نفسك مكاني. So we use some idioms. Okay, the books here give you some idioms. Okay, how to use it, but honestly this is more like we use it informal. Okay, informal. Okay, well, like for example, think out of the box. okay, or kick out the box يعني اللي هو ما معناه just passed just pass away. Okay, so here we use these idioms to be like especially in informal English to be more fluent in using the language. Okay, thank